everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be discussing my 2026 tarot deck wish list. I have identified 6 tarot decks that I will be eyeing closely on considering adding them to my collection in 2026. And I am so curious to hear what decks will you be adding or on your wish list currently for your collection in the coming year ahead. Share in the comment section down below. All right, let's get right into it. So the first one I want to talk about is the Unveiled Tarot. And this deck, in America, at least according to Amazon, was released on January 14, 2025. And it was my dear collector friend, Adam Bluefire, who put me up on this deck. Like, I didn't even realize it had come out. I've been lately kind of blissfully unaware of new releases on decks because, let's be frank, I have a lot of decks, so. But this one really spoke to me because I like the unique way of how we're looking into a different vantage point of the card. You know, there's just this window into a window kind of effect. And that really draws me to this particular deck. And I'm hoping and praying that the card stock is such that I can work with, because I did hear some people kind of complaining about the cardstock being a bit too stiff or thick. But the images and the guidebook and the box all seem to indicate that this is a deck not to miss out on. And I can see myself working with it in all types of readings, but I was specifically called to work with it for like mysterious type of readings, my Mystery Mystic series. And also I could see it being worked well with my love readings for clients. I don't know, there's something about that layered approach to the symbolism of this deck that really just hooks me in. So if you have this deck, let me know how you're getting along with it. What do you like about it? What do you think about the card stock? And if you would recommend it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next up is the Earth Magic Tarot Color Edition. And if you all watched my wish list videos a couple of years back, you probably remember, maybe you don't, but that's okay. You probably remember me talking about the Earth Magic Tarot Amber Edition. And I didn't end up purchasing the Amber Edition. And now I think I know why. It's because I was meant to get the Color Edition. I'm certain of it. Yeah, the color for me, especially the way the artists use the colors in this edition, it just pops. It calls to me. It lets me know that this is actually the edition I was meant to get. Some of my tarot deck collecting friends have indicated that they have both editions, the amber and the color, and they don't have any regrets about having both. But then a couple of my tarot deck collecting friends admitted that they do like the color edition a bit more. And, you know, my budget is such that I have to be mindful of how much I'm spending. I don't want to have multiple editions of the same deck. So I want the right edition. And so for me, the right edition, hands down, is the color one. And according to the website, Daniel Martin Diaz indicates there's 80 cards. He still has the Amber Edition available for those of us who are drawn to that edition. And it's beautiful. It's stunning. It's why I wanted it in the first place. But I know the color one is mine. It's meant for me. So if you have this deck in your collection, let me know what you think. Do you have both decks? And if you had to do it all over again, would you only get one or the other? And if so, which one? And if you don't have this deck, which one would you be drawn to? All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so now we're talking about the Quiet Rebel Tarot. And This is a vintage collage indie deck, and I really want this one. From this creator, I already have the Echoes Through Time Tarot, and I love that deck as well. And at first I questioned, do I really need another deck across the pond? You know, with all that's going on with shipping and duties and customs and tariffs and all the things. And then I went back and forth and I was like, yeah, I do. I was like, I'm going to add this one to the top of the wish list for sure, because this is my jam. I love a good collage deck. It was thoughtfully put together. I love the keywords that are added to each of the cards. And I know on the strength of the Echoes Through Time Tarot that I already have, that this creator probably put her heart and soul into the creation of this particular deck. I know there's an accompanying Oracle deck that I can later add to it, to the collection. So yeah, this is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I'm on the Etsy site now, and I see that there's a little message that says, good news for U.S. buyers. Postage includes all duties, no surprise custom charges, DDP delivered duty paid, which is helpful. I have a post office box still in the US, plus I also use my parents' address. Okay, so I have a couple of addresses in the US that I use, and then from there it gets shipped to from wherever in the world, goes to my Miami address, and then from my Miami address to the island. And that's what I've been doing all this time living abroad, and it works. So this is exciting. I mean, it's still a steep price. For me, it would be a shipping cost of $27.81 US to have it shipped, right? So I better love this deck. And then it's probably an additional, I'd say $7 or so to get it to the island. So it adds up. And I have to be very thoughtful when I am considering these beautiful indie decks, because also I got to make sure it's insured if something happens. So it's an added bit of stress for me. It's always stressful, when you're ordering these beautiful indie decks, even if you were, say, in the States. But add the extra component of living abroad, and it's just like, oh God, help me. But look at the images. It's so gorgeous. And check it out. Check out the Etsy shop, the creator's shop. I believe there's a standalone website as well. And see if there's something there for you. And I do use the Echoes Through Time Tarot ever since I got it. And I have no doubt that I would love this one as well. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so this next one is gorge, and it is mass market. It is the Infinite Door, a tarot deck and guidebook, and it was released, at least in the States, according to Amazon, on September 16, 2025. And I love it. My Aquarian self says yes to it. It is just so dreamy, whimsical, out of this world. It just, I can't even describe how much I just love the images so much. And I'm like, I know I have a couple of decks in my collection that kind of has this feel to it. But I don't know. It's something about this one that I just gotta have. And I haven't quite really given much thought to what kind of readings I want to work with this deck on, and how I can incorporate it into my reading practice. I just know I want it, just to look at the artwork and be inspired by it. And I am very curious about how each of you who have it, how have you been working with it? How have you been finding it to work in your reading practice? And the card size bothers me just a smidge, because it's not your traditional tarot size. But on the other hand, with the gorgeous artwork, I can understand why. I can understand why it needs to be a bit bigger. And if I really wanted to, I could dare to trim the deck. I've never trimmed a deck before, believe it or not. people have gifted me trimmed decks, secondhand decks, and they were already trimmed, which I was grateful for. But I've never trimmed a deck. But I could trim this one and not feel too bad about it, right? Since it's mass market. But it's got a keepsake box with the grass grain ribbon tray pull, so it pulls out the little, like a little drawer. And it's got a beautiful little guidebook and 78 cards, and it's just beautiful. And yeah, I'm looking forward to adding it to the collection. I'm pretty much sure that this one's going to also be added next year. But I would love to hear your opinions on how you've been using the deck, and that will help me to decide for sure if I want to pull the trigger. All right, let's move on. Next up is the Ebony Tarot deck, and I love it without even having it in my hot little hands yet. This deck is gorgeous, and I can't believe I am just now being aware of it. Like, I don't even know how I stumbled. Maybe I saw it somewhere on Instagram like a few weeks ago, and I was like, where have I been? This beauty is just divine. So it's 78 photo story cards, and the guidebook is in both French and English. It is made by a Canadian artist, and it just, I don't know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's photography. So, you're not getting this AI generated crap. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to call it crap, but you know what I mean? Like, it's, if you want art, you want, whether people are painting or they are using photography, find those artists that are still doing those mediums, using those mediums for their deck creation. They are out there still. And so that's what piqued my interest. And not just that, but look at the images. And I mean, there's more images, found on Instagram and, all on the net, but I just wanted to share a few here. And some highlights, about the deck. It's got, the gold, rose gold edging, I should say. And the booklet is supposed to be in color. It's 350 GSM paper, stock. And it's matte laminated, and I just want it. I think this also is probably top of my list as to the next indie deck that comes into my collection. So yeah, I could gush on and on about it. And I don't know too many folks who have it. I would be curious to hear from those who have it or who are thinking about getting it. Or if you could direct us to some favorite deck reviews on YouTube, I would be interested in watching them. So if they come up cross on your feed and you remember me, Kim from Abundant Life Tarot, wanting to check them out, send the link my way, okay? All right, let's keep going. All right, so we're now at the last deck I want to share with you from my rather short wish list for this year. This is the Tenebrae Tarot, and I was surprised that I had not heard of this deck until recently. You're starting to see a theme here with me in these decks. But once it got on my radar, I couldn't stop thinking about it because I love the mood of it. The shadowy images that we have depicted in this black and white. It looks otherworldly, really. And I like that. I really like that. And it's contemporary images, but it blends well with the medieval roots of the tarot. And that's intentional by the creator. And the creator indicated that the images or the imagery in the deck utilizes newsprint photographs published in the 1980s, which have been captured from microfilm and reconfigured. Do you all remember microfiche and microfilm? I do. I know I'm dating myself, but yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And tenebrae is Latin for shadows. And the deck serves primarily as a mirror to the subconscious, according to the Etsy listing for this deck. And I'm definitely going to get the deck with the guidebook because according to the listing, it says here, I'm just going to read it. It says the Tenebrae set includes the classic Tenebrae Tarot deck and its companion guidebook. The Tenebrae Tarot differs significantly from other tarot decks, especially those in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. And the guidebook provides an essential tool for understanding the methodology behind the deck. And I did watch a few flip-throughs of this deck, and a couple of people mentioned that it is more based on Marseille meanings. So I was like, okay, well, I'm here to learn, you know, it's gorgeous. And I do know that there's an edition of the Tenebrae that comes with the keywords at the bottom of the images. And I probably would have liked that one, I'm sure. But I also can really appreciate that it doesn't have the like little keywords or key meanings at the bottom, because it gives me a little bit more liberty to interpret the cards more intuitively if I'm so called to do so, while studying the guidebook, you know? So I can really see this working with my mystery mystic readings and other types of shadow work readings. I got this cool paranormal oracle recently that uses, you know, black and white photos, and this deck would pair beautifully with that one, right? So I'm definitely leaning towards getting this one as well. I mean, really, what deck on here that I've shared with you that I'm not really strongly considering getting? I couldn't even tell you. Couldn't even tell you. Well, friends, that's it. That is my rather short list of 6 tarot decks that I have on my wish list and very likely to add to the collection next year. And I have expressed why I want to add them. But I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about the decks I've chosen? And what decks are on your wish list? Be sure to share in the comment section down below. All right, friends, do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All right, you take very good care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.